Orwell, 1946 essay. A nice cup of tea. In it, he states, perhaps a little dogmatically, that while China tea has virtues which are not to be despised, it's not much of a recommendation, is it? China tea does not have much stimulation in it. One does not feel wiser, braver, or more optimistic after drinking it. I profoundly disagree with that part of Orwell's essay. I'm drinking Indian tea here with milk, just a touch of milk. I'm drinking Assam because it's early in the morning and I need stimulation. But during the day, for the purposes of hydration, you can't beat China tea. You can't drink too much Indian tea. I find it's just a personal choice. Now, Burgess differs slightly from Orwell, though where he is in agreement with Eric is on the need for a touch of milk, though he does not say anything about avoiding sugar. In fact, Dr. Johnson drank his tea with sugar. As Burgess points out here, in the 18th century, the greatest tea drinker of all time established the way the British were to drink it. This was Dr. Samuel Johnson. His teapot held 2 litres. He took it strong, the bite of the tannin being allayed with a little milk, adding sugar in little lumps. Burgess makes some important points in this essay on tea, but one thing that is rather odd or amusing is his preference for what he calls Twining's Irish breakfast tea. I don't think I've ever seen Irish breakfast tea, and I wonder if it actually exists. It may do, but this may be another example of something made up by Burgess. Who knows? I may well be contradicted about that. I may well be wrong. There may well be a Twining's Irish breakfast, but I'm not sure. And here we have detailed instructions from Burgess on how to prepare tea. You must have a capacious teapot, boil your water, and at the same time heat your teapot. He makes an unusual point here. It says it's unwise to heat the water by heat the pot by swilling warm water around in it It will be difficult to swill all this out, and thus the inside of the teapot will be wet. It must be perfectly dry, he states. He's very orthodox on milk, no more than a minute amount to soften the impact of the tannin content. On tea bags, he says simply that tea bags tend to be preferred these days for various reasons, but he doesn't come out against tea bags. And this is another thing that I think Orwell's far too dogmatic about. Is he's virulently opposed to tea bags. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with tea bags. Of course, you want proper tea more than occasionally. You want the actual leaves, and there's nothing to compare with Indian tea made with leaves if you want a really strong, stimulating drink. But for convenience, the tea bag is one of the greatest inventions, and I'm glad that Burgess is not opposed to tea bags, though obviously he himself doesn't use them very much. He ends with, perhaps tea is so woven into the stomach linings of the British that they cannot view it in either a scholarly or an aesthetic manner. It is a fact of British life, like breathing. This is really a splendid book. In addition to the Burgess introduction, you have some learned contributions on tea gardens, tea barons, time for tea, the taste of tea, and a connoisseur's guide. Twining's Irish Breakfast.